So I will be talking
Yes.
about tips
Okay.
for proper prescription and dispensing of spectacles. So I have no financial interest. So eye strain is already explained. It is asthenopia. It is fatigue of the eye. So I am not going to the details. Already Laila Madam already talked. So most important cause accommodation and convergence that Dr. Lesmi is already covered. Then uncorrected refractory arrays, and finally muscular imbalance that Dr. Leila will be talking. So I will be mainly concentrating on the uncorrected refractory arrays and presbyopia. So what are the causes for refractory arrays? So if you have small to moderate refractory arrays usually cause the asthenopia. Large refractory arrays patient cannot compensate. So they will adjust for monocularity and finally lead to amblyopia. So what are the management? Management is mainly you have to have a correct spectacle. So you have to correct with a spectacle. In children, of course, you should do a objective refraction with a cyclopedia and followed by a subjective refraction. Properly selected fitted frame and lens will, with a spectacle should be given. Improperly fitted spectacle will lead to spectacle indolence and eye strain. So I will go to some tips for fine tuning and of subjective refraction and prescription of the glasses. So the question is, after retinoscopy and AR, whether to prescribe, if you have decided to prescribe, how much you have to prescribe? That's a question. So always aim to give the comfortable vision rather than a accurate vision. So the point number one is always do a preliminary subjective refraction. It can be based on the undilated retinoscopy, your AR reading, or the glass patient is already using, or the myopic fundus, you can have the direct ophthalmoscope, you get some idea of the power, or the signs and symptoms of the patient, or the vision, what is the vision of the patient and the age of the patient. All these factors will help you to have a subjective, preliminary subjective refraction. And you should entirely depends upon the cycloplegic refraction in preschool children. It is cycloplegic retinoscopy is indicated in preschool children, especially the associated with high hypermetropia, amblyopia, or associated with strabismus or young myopes. Do not rely on autorefractometer values in children because AR can give pseudomyopia due to too much accommodation. It may give overcorrection in myopic values, or it can give undercorrective values in hypermetropia. And there's any media opacity, AR can give erratic values. And it is very useful to find out the axis of the astigmatism. But my advice is don't blindly follow the AR readings. No machine can replace human-to-human interaction. So you should have a subjective refraction with the interaction with the patient. In preschool children, insignificant hypermetropia can be left uncorrected. Below 6 years, correction can be given if patient is symptomatic or the refractory array is more than 5 diopter or is associated with esotropia or there's a family history of squint. Then you can give the glass. Between 6 to 12 years, even small hypermetropia can be corrected because there's a strenuous work at school, even small, so you should have a small refractory error should be corrected. If there is more than 3 diopter, it should be advised to a constant wear. If it's less than 3 diopter, you can use only for near work. In accommodative convergence, if accommodative convergence code is also associated with refractory error, you should give the full cycloplegic correction before the cyclopedia wears off. Refracting can be repeated every 6 months because the correction refractory error can change. Depends upon the age. As age advances, they can be changed. So every 6 months, you should repeat the refraction. In young myopes, do not prescribe correction without cycloplegic refraction and should give the weakest concave lens, which will give the maximum vision, and never overcorrect myopia. Astigmatism less than 0.5 diopter need not be corrected if asymptomatic. So usually it will not produce any symptoms. Corrected, full correction should be given for children. But adult, it is better to have under correction because full correction is not usually tolerated by the adults. Full correction can be given later if required. Avoid minimal alterations of axis if worn successfully for many years. Don't change the axis. Don't blindly change axis based on your AR reading. So if the patient is comfortable with the already using axis, continue with that axis. Here's a point. First, find the axis. Then you can give the power. You can change the power. So the axis can be determined by the astigmatic span, cross cylinder, stenotic slit, or manual rotation in the trial frame, etc. The patient is indolent. You can ask the patient to try rotating the cylinder inside the trial frame. They will rotate and they will find out the axis. That's also a method. Should suspect keratoconus if the astigmatism is progressing. Usually, astigmatism is very stationary. Any astigmatism more than 5 diopter, you should investigate for keratoconus. So these are some of the guidelines in the children between age of 2 to 3. So myopia, you should be correct if the more than 4 diopter. Hypermetropia, if it is more than 4.5 diopter. Hypermetropia with esotropia, you should be correct if this is more than 4 diopter. If it is associated with astigmatism, definitely you should correct if it is more than 2 diopter. If it is associated with anisometropia, you should be very strict. Myopia can be corrected more than 2.5 diopter, and hypermetropia more than 2 diopter, and astigmatism more than 1.5 diopter. So never go by the age factor or the rule of thumb in presbyopia correction. Distance vision is the most important factor. First, correct the refractor for distance, especially if there is a manifested hypermetropia. Test both eyes separately. One eye can have a refractory error, especially manifest hypermetropia. Myopia patient at presbyopic age, they will be comfortable with the current undercorrection. So continue with the undercorrection so that presbyopia is neutralized. Never overcorrect presbyopia. Overcorrection lead to convergence difficulties and the limitation of range of vision. So better undercorrect the presbyopia. Weakest convex lens which give clear vision with which will give maximum working range. Computer professional require special glasses. I will come later. So the bloodshot should be well controlled before giving the final glasses. A proper counseling is very essential. If the patient is wearing spectacle for the first time, or you are shifting to bifocal or shifting to progressive, or if you are changing the glass or frame, then also a counseling should be done. If you are changing the axis, definitely you should counsel the patient. Now, the optical dispensing is a lifestyle dispensing, just like your lifestyle. Every patient has a unique lifestyle. That all depends upon your self-image, your occupation, your leisure activities, your personal values. Lot of factors are there. This is part of their dress code of spectacle also. As an ophthalmologist, you have a vital role in prescribing the glasses. You are an expert to recommend the right spectacle and a lens for the patient. If the patient is happy and satisfied, they will definitely come back to you. So that's the best reward you can get as an eye specialist. So they will bring with another patient also. So there is a lot of causes for spectacle indolence. Most important thing is the cosmetic. The patient may not be liking the color or shape of the frame, or it can be functional. The children want to get rid of the spectacle. That may be the reason, or it can be a wrong prescription, or it can be a over or under correction, or it can be an improper frame, lens, or fitting, like a heavy frame or lens. And near vision correction may be too high or too low. That may leading by diplopia. Most important factor is the measurement of the IPD by a optician's rule. That is very mandatory for frame selection, lens adaptation, frame and lens final adjustment, etc. So frame must be comfortable and lens should be perpendicular to the visual axis, and the bridge size should be between 18 to 26 millimeter, and the tilt of the frame should be between 10 to 15 degree downwards. So there's a lot of lens varieties. It can be single vision for distant vision. It can be cryptop with the upper part is round, that is a cryptop bifocal, or D bifocal at the upper flat surface. And trifocal and executive is now going out of market. Now people are fond of multifocal or progressive glasses. The problem with the bifocal is that the intermediate area will not be seen. Only distance and near will be seen. If it is a progressive glass, intermediate area also will be seen. There's a problem with the gem phenomena with the bifocal, especially with the round top, and it is less with the flat or D bifocal and executive glasses. The progressive glass, the problem is that the optical center should become the center of the pupil. These two engraved circles will be here, that is permanent mark. If you make a line like this, you should pass through the lower margin of the pupil. Then the correction is correct. The problem with the progressive is that there's a more area for distance and near and a very narrow area for intermediate area. And these blue zones, patient will have glaring of the vision. So you should go for instead of conventional progressive, you should go for advanced digital progressive lenses so that you will not miss the traffic signal or you will not miss the football goal during football play. So of course, advanced digital progressive is little more expensive. So computer use as a special progressive lens that is called occupational progressive lens for computer wear that have more intermediate area and near and less area for distance compared to a normal progressive lenses. So they are multifocal aspheric progressive design for both near and intermediate vision. So finally, what is our responsibility? Never assume a hostile attitude to patients' complaints. You should think that patient is always right. The biggest insult we have to face is a comment from the patient that my earlier spectacle was better. So you should avoid that comment. Make sure to compare vision with the present glass and the final trial lens you are going to give before prescribing it to the patient. You should compare with both your present glass you are going to give and the previous glass and ask the patient give the option to the patient to choose between the two. Let the patient decide whether previous glass is better or the new glass is better, so that later patient will not come with the complaint that my earlier spectacle was better. So that's all my talk. So thank you very much for patient listening.